Happy Friday, everyone. Just want to say a few words that was on my mind for the last few days. Just thinking about religion, spirituality, designer clothes, branded drinks, food, cars, attire, you name it. Anything materialistic, anything worldly, I just wanted to chime in and put forward a few words because I've experienced what I'm about to talk about. Okay, so sorry, I cut off. My moon, for example, is in the second house, which is the house of values, possessions, things material. It's an earth sign, it's Taurus. So I'm basically ruled by the energy of Taurus in terms of my emotions and in terms of what makes me feel secure in life. So I'm very much on the surface a materialistic person, one can say. Not that I'm shallow or vain. Oh, well, I'm probably vain, but not shallow. But I remember as a child, for example, I would always want like expensive things or the best quality things. I didn't like cheap things. And I guess it's because I had an innate knowledge that quality and the price are related. You get what you pay for. I was always aware of that. And so people would obviously tease me about that, saying how I'm a snob and blah, 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 blah. But it wasn't because I looked down upon anything. It's just that, I knew what is good and what isn't. And up until this day, I still appreciate possessions because, as I said, my moon is in the second house. So I'm basically a Taurian by nature, Not that I'm a greedy person or anything, but things that sensually stimulate me, physical, material, I'm all for it. And I have to learn to balance myself, right? And when I started getting into spirituality and becoming quote unquote more conscious, for some reason, because of religiosity, because of dogma, because of this whole idea of separation and you against me and me against you, I felt that I would be doing a disservice to God by not wearing anything branded as much or not caring too much for the material, living ascetically basically. And I made a video before, to live ascetically is dangerous, and the whole rubber band or slingshot effect when you live one way extreme and then you buckle because you're not supposed to and you go the other extreme. And yeah, I felt like I was doing a disservice because of this whole conspiracy idea of the devil owning all the things that we are controlled by and lust over, such as, your McDonald's, your Burger Kings, your Nike, your Adidas, your Gucci, your Prada. All of these brands apparently are of the devil because the devil rules the world, and if you buy into it, you're buying into the devil and you are a fool, apparently. So I went through a period of time when I was sort of living ascetically and, trying to be modest in all facets. And ultimately, it didn't bring me any happiness because of the fact that my moon is in the second house. So on paper, I can see my nature. But for anyone who can relate and resonates with this, you will know that to live ascetically ultimately does you no good because you want to enjoy the good life. You want to experience all the things sensual and what you ultimately incarnated to experience, this life. So when I snapped out of that phase, I went back to the other, end. Not extreme, but, just indulging. However, that indulge came. And obviously, I know the law of balance, Ma'at, Libra, the balancing of the scales, the balancing of everything, and the fact that you can come to a middle ground and not be left or right, but in the middle, balanced, where you enjoy things, but in a moderate fashion, modest, moderate, as in the mode, the middle. So at the end of the day, I also, in order to snap out of that phase, had to come to the acceptance, the agreement that actually the devil doesn't own this. And if the devil does own it, I own the devil, so I own it anyway. Whatever he says he owns, whether it's this world, whether it's your Gucci's, whatever it may be. If the devil owns it, I own it too, because I own the devil. And that's the awareness that I had to come to in order to start living a life that was true to my spirituality and to myself, not simply being fake to my true nature in order to please my religiosity. You see, that's a key thing there, because God, the omnipresent, the essence, can read our hearts. So no matter how you are thinking, or no matter what you are presenting to others on the outside, God knows your true lusts and desires. So you're not fooling anyone by living ascetically if that's not your mode. That's simply it. So that's what I had to experience and learn. And that's why I call this the prodigal son. Because as you have the prodigal son in the Bible, one going away from his riches, one forsaking what he has, you know, automatically inherited in order to go and live foolishly and wildly and end up with nothing, we have done the same. We have kicked to the curb everything that is ours and allowed the minority to control us and to swindle us and to just really take the biscuit, just take the mickey. So we have to come to a return where we wake up and realize that whatever it is out there, from food to clothing, whatever it is, we own it ultimately. So if we want to use it, to enjoy it, to utilize whatever it is we desire, so be it. Not that we're going to the other side, because this duality isn't two, it's one. The two coming together as one, the left and the right, the good and the bad, the man and the woman, everything. It's a duality, everything. So you own everything. You are not apart from everything, or anything, sorry. So it doesn't mean because you follow this doctrine or because you practice this sort of order, you now must, what's the word? You now must prohibit yourself. You now must, you know, keep yourself from that pleasure, from that experience. That's childish thinking. You can all be friends. Don't have to be that one's friend and then not that one's friend. That's just childish. So that's my own thoughts on the prodigal son. So we are making a return back to what we once had and what is ours back at home with our parents, just as the prodigal son. We are coming back home, and we are meant to, so we can enjoy our spirituality and our consciousness and the growth of such authentically, not in a manner that becomes religious. Because remember, Jesus himself said that those of you that wear priestly garbs, God can read what's under that, your heart. So it's not about the outer, it's about the inner ultimately. So no one should or no one can judge anyone because of that. Now, I mentioned prodigal son as S-U-N, not S-O-N, because we know S-O-N and S-U-N ultimately are one and the same. But for the matters of this, we have to consider the S-U-N. Why? Because Lucifer, S-U-N, the sun, is the same thing. Lucifer is one that brings enlightenment. That's literally what it means, if you want to keep it plain and simple. So Lucifer, aka the devil, is the sun. Now, why would I say, just after speaking about the prodigal son in the Bible, talk about the devil or Lucifer being the son, as in the prodigal son? Well, what did Lucifer forsake? The star shining so bright, what did he forsake, or she, or it forsake? It forsook the riches of heaven, the riches of duality, the riches of God, being one with God. That's why the devil or Lucifer or Satan or Saturn's return Saturn, whatever it may be. That's why it is considered as separate and a foe of God. So that's what Lucifer forsook. Now, imagine Lucifer coming back to what he once was, which each and every one of us has the potential to. And guess what? That is a possibility. How? Because if you look at the word devil, swapped around, backwards or mirrored, it's lived. So me, you, each and every one of us experiencing this and everything else right now are devils. So we are the ones that wear Prada. Because we gave up our oneness with God to come down here to experience this third dimensional life through our egos. So we are literally devils. We are fallen. We are apart from God. We may be a part of God, but we are apart from God. So we are the devils that wear Prada. Because we own it all. So whether you call yourself a devil or not, if you don't call yourself a devil, remember, it's because you own the devil and therefore own it. If you are the devil, it's already been told that you wear Prada. And it's already been told that you living this human life is living the life of the devil. Hence you go through ups and downs. Hence you go through good and bad. Because you came here to experience polarity and duality as separation. But when you are with God, you are one. The omnipresence. So when you return, you will return to the oneness. And you are that devil wearing Prada upon your return back to the Father who was missing you. Because you, for a long time, were away from your riches, were away from your kingdom, your throne, and you were chilling with the swine. But now you have to return. And guess what? I'm saying this on a 9-day. Today is a 9 days, the 23rd of February 2018. 5 plus 2 equals 7, plus another 2 equals 9. 9 is the number of completion, everything returning. So you are that devil wearing Prada returning as the prodigal son, be it S-O-N as in son of the Father, or S-U-N, Lucifer, the shining light, the one that bears light. Because you still had that light when you were away from your father, when you were away from your mother, when you were the lost son, living, you were away. Sorry, I just got interrupted there. I got cut off. My bad. You were away, but now you are the prodigal son returning. That's all I have to say, people. I hope you all have a good weekend. Peace and love out there. Peace.